You know, there's nothing quite like sitting down to a hearty breakfast, crispy bacon, buttery toast, maybe a dollop of jam. But what if I told you that some of those comforting foods might be quietly working against your heart? After 70, our bodies process things differently, and what once felt harmless could now be putting you at risk. The good news? You don't have to give up flavor or tradition. Today, we're tackling 6 foods that science says seniors should avoid to protect their hearts, and I'll share delicious, easy swaps that'll keep your meals joyful and your arteries happy. Let's start with the first 2 culprits, and trust me, one of them might surprise you. First up, processed meats. Now I get it, bacon, sausages, and deli slices are quick, tasty, and feel like a treat. But here's the problem. They're loaded with sodium, preservatives, and saturated fats that stiffen your arteries and spike blood pressure. A study in the American Heart Journal found that seniors who eat processed meats daily have a 42% higher risk of heart disease. Yikes, right? But don't worry. You don't have to ditch your morning sandwich. Try this instead. Swap deli ham for slow-cooked shredded chicken seasoned with herbs. Or, if you're craving that smoky flavor, try turkey bacon. It's lower in sodium and still gives you that crunch. My neighbor Martha switched last year, and she says, "I don't miss the grease, and my cardiologist doesn't miss lecturing me." Next, let's talk about sugary breakfast cereals and bars. You might grab a healthy granola bar or a bowl of sweetened flakes thinking, it's got whole grains. But many of these are packed with hidden sugars, sometimes more than a candy bar. Excess sugar inflames your blood vessels, and over time, that can lead to heart damage. Here's a simple fix. Swap sugary cereals for old-fashioned oats. Cook them with cinnamon, a handful of berries, and a drizzle of honey. Or try unsweetened Greek yogurt with nuts and sliced apple. It's creamy, satisfying, and won't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. One viewer, Jim, told me he lost 8 pounds just by making this switch, and his morning energy skyrocketed. Now, before we move on, let me guess, you're thinking, what about my afternoon snack? Oh, we'll get there. But the next food on our list is sneakier than you'd expect. In fact, it's something many of us eat every day without a second thought. All right, let's get back to that sneaky food I mentioned earlier. You know those crispy snacks we all love, chips, crackers, even some low-fat cookies? Here's the thing. Many of them are loaded with trans fats, even if the label says 0 grams. How? Well, companies can legally claim 0 trans fats if a serving has less than half a gram. But eat a few servings, and suddenly, you're in dangerous territory. These artificial fats clog your arteries, raise bad cholesterol, and, according to the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, increase heart disease risk by 23% in seniors. But here's the good news. You can still satisfy that crunch craving. Swap processed snacks for air pop popcorn sprinkled with nutritional yeast. It tastes cheesy, I promise. Or a handful of almonds and dark chocolate chips. My friend Edna, who's 78, told me she swapped her nightly potato chips for spiced roasted chickpeas. She said, "Now my grandkids steal my snacks instead of the other way around." Now, let's talk about something many of us rely on for convenience: canned soups and broths. They're quick, warm, and comforting, especially on chilly days. But here's the catch. A single can of chicken noodle soup can pack over 1,800 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly a full day's limit. Excess salt strains your heart, raises blood pressure, and leaves you feeling bloated. But don't worry. You don't have to spend hours slaving over a stove. Try this. Make a big batch of low-sodium veggie soup on Sunday and freeze portions. Use fresh herbs like rosemary or thyme instead of salt. Or if you're in a rush, look for low sodium or no salt added labels. Add a squeeze of lemon to brighten the flavor. One viewer, Harold, shared that swapping canned soup for homemade cut his ankle swelling in half. Tastes better too, he said. Now, let's tackle a habit that's tough to break: sugary drinks. Sodas, sweet teas, even some fruit juices are like liquid sugar bombs. They spike blood sugar, promote inflammation, and over time, can lead to insulin resistance, which stresses your heart. A study from Harvard found seniors who drink just one sugary beverage daily have a 20% higher risk of heart attacks. But here's a refreshing fix. Infuse water with slices of citrus, cucumber, or fresh mint. Or try unsweetened herbal iced tea with a splash of 100% pomegranate juice for sweetness. If you miss fizz, sparkling water with a twist of lime does the trick. My Aunt Ruth, who's 82, ditched her afternoon cola for hibiscus tea, and her doctor just took her off blood pressure meds. She says, "I feel like I've turned back the clock." Now, these swaps aren't about deprivation, they're about celebration. Better energy, fewer aches, and a heart that keeps up with your grandkids. But we've still got one more food to cover, and this one's a real heartbreaker. It's a comfort food many of us grew up with, and it's hiding in plain sight at family dinners. Stay tuned, because what you don't know could hurt you. Alright, let's talk about that heartbreaker I mentioned earlier. The one that's been a staple at family picnics and Sunday dinners for generations. I'm talking about fried foods. Crispy fried chicken, golden French fries, those irresistible onion rings. Oh, they're delicious, aren't they? But here's the hard truth. Frying foods at high temps creates harmful compounds called advanced glycation in products, AGEs, which stiffen arteries and inflame your heart. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found seniors who eat fried foods regularly have a 37% higher risk of heart failure. But hold on, before you mourn your favorite meals, let me show you a trick. Swap deep frying for air frying or baking. You still get that satisfying crunch without the guilt. Try coating chicken in whole grain breadcrumbs and a dash of smoked paprika, then air fry until golden. Or toss zucchini slices in olive oil and roast them until crispy. My cousin Frank, who's 76, switched to air-fried sweet potato fries and said, "I don't even miss the drive-thru anymore, and my grandkids beg me to make these." Now let's take a step back. We've covered 6 foods to avoid after 70. Processed meats, sugary cereals, trans-fat snacks, canned soups, sugary drinks, and fried foods. But remember, this isn't about banning foods forever. It's about making smarter swaps that love your heart back. Think of it like this. Every time you choose shredded chicken over bacon, or herbal tea over soda, you're giving your heart one more reason to keep beating strong. And here's the secret no one tells you. These changes don't have to feel like a sacrifice. When Martha swapped deli meat for her slow-cooked chicken, she started hosting weekly sandwich nights for her grandkids. "They're happier, I'm healthier, and we're making memories," she told me. That's the power of small shifts. They add up to a life that's richer, longer, and full of flavor. Now, I know change can feel daunting. Maybe you're thinking, but I've eaten this way for decades. And that's okay. Start with one swap this week. Pick the easiest one. Maybe trade sugary cereal for oatmeal. Or try a homemade soup. Progress, not perfection, is what matters. Your heart doesn't care how fast you change. It just cares that you start. And hey, if you slip up, that's life. My dad, who's 84, still treats himself to fried fish on his birthday. But most days, he bakes it. Moderation, he says, is the real secret sauce. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Which of these swaps are you excited to try? Have a favorite heart-healthy recipe? Share it in the comments below. Let's build a community of support and inspiration. And if this video helped you see your plate in a new light, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more tasty tips, kitchen hacks, and life-giving recipes coming your way.